In March 1944, Parisian authorities uncovered one of the most gruesome and shocking crimes of World War II when they arrested Dr. Marcel Petiot, a respected physician with a sinister double life. Known as the Butcher of Paris, Petiot was accused of murdering dozens of people under the guise of helping them escape Nazi-occupied France. His arrest and the subsequent investigation revealed a chilling tale of deception, greed, and brutality, making him one of France's most notorious serial killers. This narrative delves into the events leading up to Petiot's arrest, the investigation that followed, and the impact of his crimes on war-torn Paris.
Marcel Petiot was born on January 17, 1897 in Auxerre, France. Despite a troubled youth marked by petty crimes and mental instability, he managed to become a medical doctor. During the 1930s, Petiot established himself as a popular and charismatic physician in Villeneuve-sur-Loing and later in Paris. He gained a reputation for his unorthodox treatments and apparent generosity toward patients, particularly those who were marginalized or impoverished. When Nazi Germany occupied France in 1940, Petiot saw an opportunity to exploit the desperation of those seeking to escape persecution. He set up a clandestine operation under the alias Dr. Eugene, promising to help Jews, resistance fighters, and other targeted individuals escape to safety in South America. For a fee, Petiot claimed he could provide safe passage, falsified documents, and medical services to those fleeing the Nazi regime. Instead, he led his victims to a horrific end.
Operating in the shadows of a city gripped by war and fear, Petiot carefully constructed a facade of respectability. He worked tirelessly to cultivate an image as a caring doctor and patriotic Frenchman while secretly preying on the vulnerable. His operation was meticulously planned. He convinced his victims that they needed vaccinations to protect them from diseases during their journey. He then injected them with cyanide, killing them almost instantly. Afterward, he disposed of their bodies in the most gruesome ways, dismembering and incinerating them in a makeshift crematorium in his own home. The authorities were initially unaware of Petiot's activities. In an environment where death and disappearance were tragically common, the absence of his victims went largely unnoticed. The challenge for investigators was to connect the missing persons to Petiot, whose outward appearance as a reputable doctor deflected suspicion.
Petiot's carefully crafted web of lies began to unravel in March 1944. When a foul smell and dense smoke emanating from his townhouse at 21 Rue Le Sueur in the affluent 16th arrondissement caught the attention of neighbors and the police. When authorities arrived, they discovered a grisly scene, human remains scattered throughout the house, including dismembered bodies, a pit filled with quicklime, and a rudimentary incinerator. Realizing the magnitude of the crime, the police launched a full-scale investigation. Petiot, however, managed to escape capture by using his charm and cunning. He fled the scene, claiming to be a member of the French resistance, and that the bodies were of Nazi collaborators and spies. This deception allowed him to evade immediate arrest, as the French police, operating under the German-controlled Vichy regime, hesitated to pursue someone they believed might be part of the resistance. Petiot went into hiding, moving from place to place and using various aliases to avoid detection. For several months, he managed to elude capture, even as his crimes were being uncovered and public outrage grew. The French press dubbed him the Butcher of Paris, and his case became a sensation, adding to the already tense and chaotic atmosphere in the city during the final months of the German occupation.
After 6 months on the run, Petiot was finally captured in October 1944. Ironically, he was arrested not by the regular police but by French forces loyal to General Charles de Gaulle's Free French government, who were rounding up collaborators and criminals in the chaotic aftermath of Paris's liberation. Petiot was recognized at a metro station and taken into custody. During his trial, which began in March 1946, Petiot displayed a chilling arrogance and lack of remorse. He maintained his defense that he was killing enemies of France, not innocent people. He admitted to killing 19 people, but investigators believed the true number was far higher. with estimates ranging from 27 to over 60 victims. Evidence presented at the trial showed that Petiot had systematically murdered his victims for financial gain, stealing their valuables and disposing of their bodies in a manner that suggested a macabre fascination with death and mutilation. The trial lasted for nearly 3 weeks, drawing intense media attention. The courtroom was packed with onlookers eager to see the man who had terrorized Paris. On May 25, 1946, Marcel Petiot was found guilty of multiple counts of murder and sentenced to death. He was executed by guillotine on May 26, 1946, bringing a gruesome chapter in French criminal history to a close.
The case of Dr. Marcel Petiot, the butcher of Paris, remains one of the most disturbing and complex criminal cases in French history. His ability to exploit the chaos and fear of wartime Paris, coupled with his skill at manipulation, allowed him to carry out his crimes undetected for years. The case highlighted the darker side of human nature and the ease with which trust and authority can be manipulated for evil purposes. Petiot's crimes also served as a stark reminder of the moral and social disintegration that can occur in times of war and occupation. His ability to operate under the guise of helping others while committing horrific acts of violence shocked a society already traumatized by years of war and occupation. Today, the story of Marcel Petiot continues to captivate and horrify, serving as a cautionary tale of deception and the capacity for cruelty. His case is studied in criminology and psychology courses as an example of how pathological behavior can manifest in even the most seemingly respectable individuals.
The arrest of Dr. Marcel Petiot marked the end of a horrifying chapter in the history of wartime Paris. His brutal crimes and the subsequent investigation exposed the depths of human depravity and the dangers of unchecked power. As we reflect on his story, we are reminded of the importance of vigilance and the need to safeguard against those who would exploit chaos and fear for their own gain. Petiot's case remains a chilling reminder of the dark possibilities that lurk beneath the surface of society.